Okay then, Helldivers, we are back and we have got a lot to talk about today as the internet has gone rampant. It seems that Johan is talking about potential limited time crossovers actually coming at some stage or another. Although it's not a focus at the moment, it's something that he's actually talking about, which I'm pretty sure we were never going to see beforehand. So we're going to go into some comments with that, as that's been an interesting venture to take a look into, as well as the DEI problem. That's right, everyone seems to be talking about it right now, and I don't want to draw too much attention, but we will quickly guys over what it is that's happening with Johan and the squadron of haters as of right now. We've got a cool Warbond concept that we need to look into, because I think this has some decent stance, and Iron Sights is going to be going in with yet another leak, and this one is probably one of my favorites. So we're going to do what it is that's happening inside of the game right now. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. And check out our sponsor, GamerSupps, the company that offers esports athletes and gamers the most effective and healthy energy drink choice compared to the energy drink cans that we're all used to. It's going to help you perform to your highest potential, completely keto friendly, less than 1 calorie, and it's sugar free. It's a no-brainer. CoCloud plays at checkout for a cheeky discount, link in the description. Let's dive on into the game and see what it is that's happening right now. So, as it stands, the major order is still got 4 days left on it. We need to take Mastia and Tash, and that is pretty much the lowdown of everything happening there. As to why we still are having a bit of a problem on the automaton side and not taking Martail, which could literally take a few hours at most, I reckon. It's a bit confusing, but nonetheless, we are diving into that major order, and we'll have it completed within the next 4 days. So, easy go forward. For those of you guys wondering, your personal order is to extract from a successful mission 3 times over the next 24 hours. And for those of you guys who want to know what's inside of the store, we currently have the B08 Light Gunner and the FS61 Dreadnought. Both really cool pieces of gear, and if you want to add those to your arsenal, you can do for a cheaper cost than the Killzone crossover. We're just throwing that one out there. Nonetheless, let's see what's happening in the back end of the game right now, as it seems that Johan has been pretty damn active over on X, answering questions and interests that you guys have been wondering about. One person actually asked, you always talk of collabs for Helldivers, but what about enemies? Is there a chance that we can see a collab as part of your new enemies within an existent faction? Now, that would be an interesting venture. I don't really know how that would work per se, because the faction itself are segregated down to, well, a specific faction. They are what they are. The Terminids are the Terminids. The Automatons are the Automatons. To be able to do a crossover into those, I don't think it would work out too well. Nonetheless, Johan actually responded with this one, stating no, the enemy foes need to remain intact. Or, well, I guess we could go down the time-limited event at some point, but it's not a focus right now. Now, the reason why that's interesting is because now that it's a actual thing where they're genuinely a little bit intrigued by the idea of it, and the limited time events was something that they were adamant that they weren't really going to do. It's kind of interesting to know that that's now on the table, especially with a rework of how crossovers could work, and they want to see exactly how they can implement that without the community, well, kicking off and throwing their dummies out of the pram, as well as having so many changes that were never going to come to the table. It's kind of opened it all up to a much bigger scale. The fact that we could have some limited time stuff come in, I kind of enjoy it, although the idea of FOMO for a lot of people will turn you off of this. So let me know your consensus down in the comment section and what it is that you guys think about this, as I think this is quite an interesting topic at hand. Nonetheless, one thing that I don't find too interesting, although seems to be quite rampant on the internet right now, is the talk of the DEI situation with Johan Peterstedt, and I don't really understand why this is such a big deal. He pretty much has this statement of he doesn't really care, make good games, don't make contemporary political statements. And yes, that is something that is definitely a key factor, and actually I think he nailed it really, really well with that statement right there, although people have been setting him up on a basis of trying to slip and slide, because apparently his CMs are woke, or I have no idea, man. It actually baffles me. But his statement that followed up not long afterwards, just yesterday, as somebody said that this was baiting him out, just obviously don't respond to it. He said, even so, what society will we become if distance ourselves from each other for a fear of others? Discourse is the foundation of healthy society, and diversity of opinion is how we collectively decide where to go. Conversation is a release valve in society. Now, I completely agree with him, although at the moment, for some reason, people have just got like a massive limelight about how he's on a double standard. For me personally, I think Johan is absolutely great. I think that he is straight to the point. He is straight and narrow, and he will literally just stick a nail in the coffin pretty much be as honest as you possibly can be. So regardless of what you may well be reading about him at the moment, or what you may well be seeing on YouTube, because there's stupid amounts of ridiculous videos, I personally would just ignore it. It doesn't take away from what the game is, and personally his opinions seem to run quite true to me. That's all I'm going to say on this one. Nonetheless, we move forward is to this right here, where somebody had an idea for a Warbond headed by the private sector of Super Earth. Now, this didn't get much traction, and I don't really understand why, because I think it's pretty damn cool. We're going to take a look right here as the primary weapons for it would be the SMG-39S Whisperer and the SG-225S Sluggernaut. Obviously, these are pretty much just concepts and there's not really much detail to them, although the next page of utilities was pretty much where I wanted this one to come from. We have the P2AP Gravemaker, the remote hacking stick, and the C8 plastic explosives with the K1200 compound energy sword. This is personally absolutely incredible, and I want everything on this page. Obviously, the Gravewalker is a silenced pistol, of which we will not really be too alien to. I can't imagine it would be any good. The remote hacking stick would work really, really cool alongside things such as the bots, and I think that it could be quite interesting to see how that one could be incorporated. Maybe you stick it to something and then it takes over that for a little while. You could throw this on a Strider, and then for a while the hacking stick actually turns it into a Helldiver companion for a little bit. That would be pretty cool. A 30-second Strider walking around for you. I'll take that. The C8 plastic explosives for me were absolutely incredible, and the K1200 compound energy sword is something I've wanted for a long time. Now, obviously, there is a lot more in told with this, so make sure you go and check it out. Show it some love, man. 1,000 upvotes is not anywhere near enough for something along this standard. And then we have also got to take a look at this right here, where this is probably the most renowned question and everybody wants to know, with nearly 20,000 upvotes on Reddit. Everybody seems to relate to this one. It states, why can't I use elevated positions to my advantage? See tall rock. Jump on tall rock with jetpack. Cool down sentry. Sentry bounces off. And that is probably the most frustrating thing ever, but you can't actually cool down a sentry at a high ground. You can't put anything up there. If you are stuck up there and want to get down, you can't cool your jetpack up there to be able to lower yourself down to the standard. It's so freaking frustrating, man, but this is probably the one unanswered question that we don't have, and I have been scouting through the comments and I see no response from anybody related to Arrowhead. So if somebody can give me the answer, please, 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 just make it a thing that it doesn't bounce. The high ground is so important in this game. And now taking a look into some leak territory. So if you don't want to see that, this is the time of the video where you will need to leave, as Ironsights has got something pretty damn juicy. Okay, are they gone? They are? Awesome. Let's take a look at what's happening right now, as Ironsights posted up the Jar 5 Dominator Toxin variant. Now, this is a quick gameplay of the Toxin Jar 5 Dominator variant. This has been in the files for a while, but now it no longer crashes. He states right here that this is not the finished variant. He's simply showing off the projectile associated with it. Now, he goes on to state that this variant features Toxin rounds along with ergonomic mag. On top of that, though, he does go into state, and I have to make sure that I make this one pretty abundantly clear, that it's worth noting that the effect used for this is likely to be a placeholder. The actual AOE of the explosion is fairly low. They may be using these attachments as testing for weapons that will be released later on, or it may actually be a Jar 5 variant. He's also going to be releasing gameplay of the Thermite Jar 5 variant very soon, and I am so intrigued by the Thermite Jar 5 variant, but these may well not be variants. They may well be placeholders so that they can test certain things and then implement the weapons at a later date, or implement the effects to the weapons at a later date. But nonetheless, this is pretty damn cool. If this is a variant usage as far as like any customization skills, maybe we can change the ammo on it and it's not a variant but it's a customization for the weapon ergonomics. That would be absolutely incredible. I would love it. Nonetheless, if this was a real thing, I would 100% be having this on 24/7. It just looks so freaking cool. Let me know your ideas in the comment section and what you think of this, and a massive shout out again to Ironsights for releasing out all of this cool stuff that we see today. Nonetheless, though, we're going to take a look at your top comments right now, as this first one right here states, if they do suppressed weapons, they may as well release a fully fledged customizable arsenal. If choosing the minigun gives them time to refine customizable guns, then give them time to cook. And I really, really agree with this one. I think no matter what it is that we incorporate or what we decide about this game, they are doing incredible when they do cook. So just let them cook with what they're doing. We know that everything's coming in due course, so we're just going to have to wait for it. Next up right here, the second comment states, having a support weapon for vehicle maintenance, mechs and stuff to repair HP and reload mechs would be absolutely awesome. Now, I don't know if I'd want that to be a complete support weapon for maintenance vehicles. I don't know if I'd want to utilize that slot, because then you'd have to have 2 slots, one for the actual vehicle, one for the maintenance of it, and I just don't think that it is worth using. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I'd prefer it if it was a passive or something. I don't know. Let me know your ideas in the comment section below. And this last one right here states, I want an April Fool's update that adds Spaceballs armor. Am I too old, or do you guys know what I am talking about? For those of you guys who don't know, Spaceballs was a comedy sci-fi movie from the 1987. This thing looked incredible, and what it mainly incorporated was Spaceball. It was an armor set for planet Spaceball. These guys were absolutely hilarious nonetheless, so this is exactly what he's talking about, and he wants to see this coming in for April Fools. I can't imagine this ever making its way in, but it would be pretty hilarious to see it happen. Nonetheless, that's all we've got time for today. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, post notifications turned on. Thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate you all, and as always, I'll see you in the clouds.